Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna be talking Pelicans in a few, and I'm waiting on my co-host to get up on his game and log in. We will be going in about the Pelicans. This is really an exciting night. The New Orleans Pelicans are starting their very first game of the year. I am the co-host. Every 504. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get ready in a very few minutes. You know what I'm saying? So just bear with us. Just give us a moment. We will be coming on in a very few. Going to be talking about the New Orleans Pelicans and the Brooklyn Nets. It's going to be a first live stream about the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. I'm waiting on my co-host. Just 1 second. We've been having technical difficulties trying to get this stream together. I shared the screen to my co-host. Just give me a couple of moments so we can let him in. We are talking about the New Orleans Pelicans and the Brooklyn Nets. So we're just trying to get this together. Give us 1 second. All right, you're gonna start this thing off because I gotta go into this place. You take over, host.
All right, welcome, sports fans. Tonight we got the New Orleans Pelicans against the Brooklyn Nets. We are less than 20 minutes away before game time, but this is our little pregame tribute to the Pelicans, man. This year, tonight finally they get Zion Williamson back, man. That's gonna be something huge to go ahead and start the season with. They got a full roster now. They got the only kid out there
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited, man.
the only kid they missing today is Jackson Hayes, and look, besides that, you got a full entire roster out there. So man, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I was checking out. They had some good. I mean, the NBA is back. I got a chance to check on the Lakers yesterday. You see the Lakers losing to the Warriors. Also, the Philadelphia 76ers played yesterday. They went down in defeat. Also, what a night of basketball. The
That's
NBA
pretty
is back.
good if you're a Pelicans fan to see the Lakers lose. I mean, if the Lakers lose enough, we could get their top pick next year.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna count my numbers. I mean, it's just the very first game of the season, so the Lakers got a lot of chances to back this thing up. Who is? I mean, I know you're excited about Zion Williamson, but from watching the preseason, who is another guy that you're looking at that is going to be that you just expected to explode? I mean, I like Alvarado and I like Herb Jones. So, what you think about this team?
Well, you just said the number one name I was thinking of, Jose Alvarado. I think he takes a bigger leap this year. I really think he takes over that backup point guard role, and he really takes over in that spot. Devontae Graham's gonna have to fight, to get some minutes over him because Mr. Jose Alvarado has really caught my eye this year. Mr. Herb Jones, I think, as well is gonna make another leap in his sophomore season. One of the best defenders in the NBA today. That's really not being looked at today. And I also want to talk about Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy, man. Trey Murphy has improved his shooting, man. I think he needed that rookie year. But him playing alongside Zion Williamson is really gonna create space for him to be wide open on a lot of shots this year. So look for him to be a 3 point magician this year, man. I'm telling you
I think
that.
that's what they talked about when understand Van Gundy he did not create enough space for Zion Williamson,
Mhm.
and and just looking at what Zion looks like, his physique. I am just so excited to see this young man prove the NBA wrong, prove so many because a lot of them are jumping on the bandwagon, and it's just so funny now. But I'm gonna
Mhm.
get right back to you. I gotta get this to security. Hold on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you brought up a good point about that, man. Willie Green, that's another guy that needs to be talked about this year. Mr. Willie Green, in his second year of head coaching, man, he did a wonderful job. First year head coach with the Pelicans. They started out real bad last year, and he just brought that team back, kept them fighting, traded for CJ McCollum, and voila, they're in the playoffs. So this year, I really think Willie Green is really going to pick up where he left off last year and have this team as one of the top teams in the Western Conference. Charles Barkley, I don't know if anybody listened to that last night, but Charles Barkley on TNT was talking about how the Pelicans is going to be one of the teams that could come out the West. I mean, that just speaks volumes about how the Pelicans has really gotten on people's radars and they gotten respect now. You know, that they're becoming one of those teams now that they're not getting slept on anymore. People are starting to notice how good this team can really be, with Brandon Ingram being the lead, you know, at the top, man. Um, you also gotta you I think the biggest thing this year, though, for the Pels, what's going to separate them for being a playoff team and a championship team is they have to start out really fast. The past couple of years, that's been the theme for Pelicans basketball. The Pelicans
Was
have
being
started.
healthy. I mean, that's just what Nas just said is being healthy and
Yeah,
having Ingram back. Let me tell you something. Brandon Ingram is the key to this season. Brandon Ingram, we already know what Zion gonna bring to the table, but
hmm
I just think that Ingram has brought the from if he brings anything what he gave us in the last ending of last year, we're gonna be competing for at least going to the conference championship. This team is that talented. I think they're
right.
gonna sneak everybody. This is a very well coached team by Willie Green. I'm excited. I'm gonna mute you.
Hey man, I'm excited too. Like I said though, for me, it's the biggest thing. Start out fast, man, and like Dad said, hey, it's been injuries for the Pelicans over the years. If the Pelicans can go ahead and stay healthy and start out fast, watch out, NBA. I'm telling y'all, CJ McCollum's been on his podcast, been letting everyone know, you know, this team is going to be fun. And this team is going to be a team that you want to watch every night. I wholeheartedly believe him on that. And I'm not just being a biased Pelicans fan when I say that. You know, this team is it's different, man. This team is really loaded. This team is a fully loaded roster. This is one of the few NBA teams that has 1 through 15. I mean, you can live with playing out there. You know, you don't have to. I mean, look at the Pelicans bench. Some of those guys can actually start and on other teams. You know, that's how good and how much depth the Pelicans have this year. So and really the Pelicans didn't even do much this offseason. The Pelicans just added, Zion Williamson. They just added Zion from being injured, So that's huge, like this team is really gonna be a team that's under the radar right now, but that is quickly rising through the ranks in the Western Conference, man. And if things can stay, as expectations, start to rise for the Pelicans, if they can, continue to do the right things and they can go ahead and remain healthy. Biggest thing, Zion Williamson, man, this is your time, man. Where they need you out there, man. They need you healthy. I mean, you have the potential to be one of the best players the NBA has ever seen. I mean, nobody has seen a guy like you so big and do the things that you do, man. I mean, if you can stay healthy, and you already shown flashes in this league, man, how great of a scorer you can be in this league. If you can just stay healthy, man, you are going to be a dominant force in this league, man. And I'm just happy to see him back out on the court. I knew he battled a lot of things in the offseason. I know that a lot of teams were making jokes about the Pelicans, talking about that Zion was going to leave and that the whole team was going to break up and David Griffin didn't know what he was doing. Shout out to David Griffin, man. David Griffin, you have put together a roster that really
You
is
didn't
one of
bring
the
up
best
you
in the
didn't you
league.
didn't bring up Dyson Daniel. I gotta mute you again, but you didn't bring up Dyson Daniels.
Hey man, look, they just drafted little Dyson Daniels. I don't think Dyson Daniels is gonna get much playing time this year. That's how deep this roster is. But Dyson Daniels is gonna be a good player one day as well. That man is a great defender. He just got to work on his shooting, man. I mean, but like I said, Dyson Daniels, that's another example. Ever 504, that's a great example to go ahead and bring up. Dyson Daniels is another guy you bring in onto a fully loaded roster, and these guys don't have much holes, man. I mean, they remind me of the Warriors as far as a fully loaded roster. I mean, if you looked at the Warriors last night against the Lakers, man, everybody they put out there was good enough to beat the Lakers, and the Lakers just wasn't, built enough for those Warriors. The Lakers didn't have enough shooting out there, man. The Lakers gotta figure it out, man. They gotta either get rid of Mr. Russell Westbrook and let him do what he got to do on another team, man, because I just don't see it, with Patrick Beverly and Russell Westbrook working together, man. And Anthony Davis has to stay healthy for them. LeBron, we all know he's gonna be one of the best ever to finish this game, but he's getting older. So, they have a lot of questions over there. And the Celtics actually shocked me yesterday when they played their basketball game against the 76ers. 76ers really they really ruined themselves in that game because they looked good in the beginning, but the Boston Celtics showed why they were in the championship last year. So it's gonna be a very interesting NBA season, man. It's one that, hey, if you're not watching basketball, you need to tune in now, man, because a lot of this stuff is happening in the league.
Well, I gotta disagree with you with Dyson Daniels. One of the reasons because of what I'm hearing, and I'm not just saying this because I like the guy. This is just what I'm hearing from the outside. There's a lot of people. I mean, we're John DeSager. Everybody's talking about the leaps and bounds of this young man. They were talking about the fact that his defensive game is going to get him playing time. His defensive game and his ability to pass the football pass the basketball in his length. The young man has a tremendous length, which is going to get him on the court. He's having 7 foot wingspan, so he's playing. He can handle the ball, tall as he is. So I just really believe, me just looking at it and watching the preseason, the way Willie is giving these minutes, that
Right.
I just I know you don't draft the first round pick to sit him that much.
I'm just saying,
I
though, that roster
I
is
mean
just so full, man. It's gonna be hard for him to get
it
minutes,
is
man.
no,
It's gonna be
it's just gonna
hard.
be trouble. I just believe it's gonna be trouble for some veteran like Najee Marshall or somebody. I hate to say it's just gonna be trouble. And yeah, it's gonna be trouble for some veteran who really gonna need minutes. And that's
Yeah,
just what
yeah,
I'm looking at
yeah.
with this basketball team being so.
Also,
They got.
congratulations to EJ Liddell, man. He tore his
Oh man,
ACL,
oh
and they
man,
signed
oh
him back,
man.
man.
I am
That's
so
classy.
glad that you brought that up.
Very,
Bringing
very
up,
classy by David Griffin, man. I was glad that
listen,
they did that.
when I tell you, I felt so bad about EJ. Of course, it's kind of ironic that EJ Liddell name is the EJ part is my son. Okay. So I had a little love for the young man just because his name was EJ. So I'm just glad that it didn't end up worse than what it could have been,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm glad that the Pelicans' loyalty
yeah,
that impresses me with the loyalty, the fact
yeah.
that
I mean, David
yes,
Griffin
you don't see
means
organizations do stuff
he
like that,
means
man.
that our family around there. He means that he treats these players as family, and that showed with EJ Liddell signing him back. I mean, because that was a tough situation. I mean, they could have just said, "Well, kid, that's it for you. Try, try it
Well,
with another team
it's
or
so
something."
deep.
But
It's so deep. The depth is so deep, and you'll catch on with somebody else. And I didn't see that by the Pelicans. I saw a Pelicans organization to where I feel like anybody would love to play for the Pelicans organization. All
right,
of that stuff that the media said about the Pelicans in the past, you could just throw that out the water. You just can throw it out because all of that negativity. You know what I'm saying? We receive so much negative energy, so
exactly.
much negative energy, And I'm just proud. I'm proud to be a Pelicans fan, man. I am proud. We got the Saints going on tomorrow. They've been the Debbie Downer, but I tell you, it's the Pelicans
Hey
coming
man, the
at the
Pelicans
right
got a
time.
chance to take over the city, man. They got a chance right now to take over the city. The way the Saints playing, I mean, if the Pelicans start winning, I mean, a lot of New Orleans fans might start cheering for the Pelicans, you know. So I'm excited for the Pelicans that they get this, you know, this shine, that they get the light, you know. We all know that New Orleans love the New Orleans Saints, you know. We all know that. But the Pelicans need their shine as well. And I think this is the year that the Pelicans prove that, hey, we're here too. You know, we got some damn good basketball to show y'all. So I can't wait to see it. And tonight it starts with the Brooklyn Nets against KD, who've been in a lot of trade rumors, even linked to us for Brandon Ingram. And once again, shout out to David Griffin for even
Well,
sticking with Brandon Ingram.
I didn't want that. I didn't want that. I didn't want KD. I love KD, but I'm very leery of an organization going after a guy that is already established like a KD,
Right.
who probably was going to give us like 1 year, was going to give us 1 year and get the hell out of Dodge. I don't want no more guys like the attitude of an Anthony Davis. I don't need that around my organization. I want people who want to play in New Orleans. We got players who embrace in New Orleans and love in New Orleans. I love the kind of guys like a CJ McCollum. You know, I like
Right.
these guys. CJ is from Cleveland and he embraces New Orleans.
Right.
And he leaves Portland. He could have very much well said, I want to be back home or somewhere. But he
Right.
embraces New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? And we need more players to come. You know, it was just a year. I mean, 2 years ago, EJ, where they were just talking bullcrap about New Orleans losing the Pelicans. Now you got Stephen A. Smith, sitting up there
Right.
now, backtracking his words, talking about, oh, these Pelicans are dangerous. Oh, they're going to be one of my picks that come out the West. They got a possibility to be in the West Finals and all this other stuff. I don't want to hear
Yeah.
this stuff. Have that same
Yeah.
energy. We heard Shannon Sharp. We heard all of these
Yeah.
guys talk about Zion Williamson, talking about Zion is a bust. He can't gain. We don't want to hear all that now. We don't want to hear y'all
Yeah.
praises of Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear that because New Orleans and Zion have something in common, and what they got in common is the underdog. They got that underdog on.
Yeah. It's the
That
underdog
disrespect,
mentality.
that disrespect. And I just glad, all along they were lying, the national media were lying. Zion didn't want to be in New Orleans. They didn't give Zion a chance to want to be in New Orleans. They don't want New Orleans to have a superstar. They didn't want that in this kind of market, but now they have no choice. You understand what I'm saying, son?
It's
They
it's
have no
funny though,
no
like
choice.
the narrative changes though, because I was just talking about this when one of my boys, and I used to go ahead and they used to talk about Anthony Davis needed all this help when he was playing with the Pelicans and how great he was with the Pelicans. And now the people see Anthony Davis now, and all they do is bash Anthony Davis now because you know why? He's injury prone with the Lakers. Now, Anthony Davis can't be, hidden from the public now. He can't be saved from the public now. It's so much expectations over there in Lakerland, and because he was one of the really the best things that the Pelicans had, that he could do no wrong in New Orleans. But he was always injury prone and in New Orleans, and it didn't just start in Lakerland. So I'm just glad these narratives now it's starting to come to light. Now you're starting to see the things that Pelicans fans used to say over the years, and used to say how they just hate us, man. They hate on the Pelicans. They hate that that every year it seemed like eh, I mean they felt like Zion didn't deserve to come to New Orleans. They wanted the Knicks to have him. Anybody but the Pelicans. Why the Pelicans have him? They thought once Anthony Davis got traded, it was over for the Pelicans. Sell the franchise, sell them to Seattle. I mean, I just never seen so much hate for the franchise. It's kind of like in the football world with the Saints. It's just crazy.
What's going on, Bronze? We got Bronze and Nas in the chat. And let me tell you something. It's something, and I hope I ain't that noisy because I will get off the headsets in a few. But that's the problem right now that the Pelicans have to deal with. The Pelicans have to deal with battling their own self. Okay, they're battling, fighting against this ain't no New Orleans against New Orleans Pelicans against the Saints, Saints against the New Orleans Pelicans, and I
Right.
want people to understand that this people, people fall to the bandwagon. We had people who are Pelican fans now were talking about letting the team go. You heard it in our own people who Saints fans
Yeah.
who are talking about we only need the Saints. This is a bad football town. No, you win, and they will support it. They will support a winner.
Exactly.
New Orleans
Winning
ain't no
cures
different.
all.
New
Winning
Orleans ain't
cures
no
all.
different than any other city when you support it.
Right.
New
I mean,
Orleans will
I
love
look
you.
at it.
If you
I
love New
look at it
Orleans,
like
New
this.
Orleans gonna love you back.
I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, think about, and I hate to bring
504
this up,
Intensivist Warrior. Go ahead.
but think about Sacramento, man. I mean, Sacramento haven't won in a long time, man. But guess what? They still behind their team, man. And winning cures
Yeah,
all.
Sacramento fans are real big on their team. Um, that we can go way back with the Sacramento Kings. I remember them days. I kind of believed that they were our franchise remind me of Sacramento back in the days when they had Chris Webber and they had
Right.
a very young a team that was making a run. Pedro
Yeah, Mike
Stojakovic.
Bibby and all them
Yeah,
boys,
they
man.
were running. They were making a run at that time. They got
Right.
to the conference championship and lost. But
Right.
I remember the buzz. I remember the buzz down there, and they was really excited about their team. And I
Right.
just think that New Orleans, we can actually bring a bigger buzz down here. We can actually
Yes.
reach heights. We could be one of those small market teams to give these big market teams some hell. And I'm just telling
Yes.
you, all it takes, like Golden State. Golden State changed the game, son. Golden State changed the game. They were considered a small market in California. They're not a big market in California.
Hmm.
So Golden State down there in Oakland had their own little area, and look what happened. It was Lakers, 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 Clippers,
Yeah.
and Lakers in California. But look
Yeah.
what happened. Winners, you win one championship. Look what happened to them. Now
Yeah.
all they think about, all they talk about is who. Okay, so Golden State is up there. They done got their reputation up there with the Lakers now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
Is it?
really gonna enjoy this team. I look at Najee. Najee has really improved in preseason. Watching the tapes, watching Najee, watching Alvarado scoring game has improved. You can tell he got with Fred Vincent, a great shooting coach like Fred
Yes.
Vincent. He is
Yes.
actually his game has evolved over the summer. You can
Shoot,
tell
I
a
like
guy,
how Herb Jones is actually shooting
yeah,
as well.
because of Fred Vincent.
Yeah.
And that a lot of people don't. Fred Vincent is very underrated.
Yeah.
He the reason why he had a lot of these guys shooting well. You know, he's not talked about. I even thought about it before we hired Willie Green that he should have been at least considered for
Yeah,
head coach of our
yeah,
team.
most definitely. I'm actually afraid. I think one of these years, man, one day somebody actually gonna hire him as a head coach because he's so
Yeah,
good,
yeah, yeah, and I
so
don't want
good.
it to happen. I'm so selfish. I'm so selfish. I don't want it to happen. I don't want Tariq to. I don't want Weatherspoon gone either.
Yeah,
Weatherspoon
Teresa
turned down
Weatherspoon, man.
Tariq.
Yes,
Yeah, her and
yes,
Zaya are so close. They're so
yes,
close, and she has brought so much sunshine to the organization.
yes.
I would hate to see her go because she's going to be the first NBA head coach. She's going to be the first women NBA head coach. The lady has nothing but skills. She's a great. I mean, I watched her as a player. I watched her play with the New York Liberty, going
Mhm.
back and forth with the other lady. I can't think of her name right now, but This lady was a star. This lady was a star. She had game, real game. You know, so I just think this team has to start off. EJ, we have to start off fast. We cannot afford to do like we did last year,
Most
trying to
definitely.
battle. We can't be trying to battle ourselves out. Most of that came from injuries, though. Do you agree?
Yeah, most of that is injuries, but at the same time, you can't. I mean, with injuries, I mean, you you got to stay healthy, but at the same time, you can't use the injury bug as an excuse, because everyone's not gonna, they're not gonna buy into that. So the biggest thing with the Pelicans, like I mentioned earlier, the Pelicans just got to start out fast, man. We don't want to be 0-12 or 2-14 starting out the season. We come out with a hot start, this team, and stay out in front. I'm telling you,
It's
it's gonna be hard
amazing
for
how
the
they got out of that hole, son. You brought that up. It's amazing how they got out of that hole, how Willie Green was able to keep that basketball team focused
Yes.
in his first year. That was just an unbelievable year by a rookie head coach. There were so many people, so many doubters that doubted this organization. And now you hear the buzz. They have a sellout already. The game is already sell out that you're going to. It's just so you didn't see this buzz 2 years ago. You just have to be honest, EJ. 2 years ago, there was not like this. Even last year, it was not selling out in the season. It's amazing that people are so frustrated with the Saints that they just need something different. And they just need something different right now. And as far as I'm not willing to give up on the Saints because I know it's too early. I know that things happen in football, but it's a fresh air, a breath of fresh air to
Right.
have something else to cheer for in the Crescent City. It's just so awesome, and I just, this team is so deep. I have never seen this basketball team so deep.
I mean,
Okay,
I
so
just think they have a potential that's way above when we had Chris Paul and David
and,
West
and
and,
Tyson Chandler
and
and all them
Tyson
boys,
Chandler, all them boys. And like
and Pedro. Yeah,
this is more
it's kind of
exciting than that.
it's way more. Look, and I thought that was exciting.
Right, right,
I
right.
thought, I mean, I literally thought that was exciting back in the days, and we almost lost the team and all that other stuff. Losing the star like Chris Paul. I never thought we would be able. That's why it was so big for us to build through the draft. It was so
Yes.
big, son, to build through the draft, and I would take that trade for Anthony Davis for the future that we're going to have any day.
I
If we
would
had to
do it
trade,
all over again
I would
every
do it
single time.
all over again
Every single time,
because
man.
first
Like,
of all, his ass didn't want to be here.
yes, yes. Yes, man, and that's the thing, man. Everybody wanted to say that the Pelicans let down Anthony Davis, but no, Anthony Davis let down the
No,
Pelicans, man.
Anthony Davis stayed injured, and the sad part is people are afraid to talk about. I knew what the Lakers was gonna get was just and like I say, I still that little championship they won during the COVID time. I'm not impressed, and like I said, I wasn't impressed.
I
You
don't,
you
I
you
don't, I
you
really don't
you
count
know
the
you
2020 season. I
no,
really don't.
you didn't have fans in the stands to
Yeah,
criticize your ass. Do you know
yeah,
how hard it is to win in Boston? Do you know how hard it is to go win in some of these big venues? And
yes,
you're gonna tell me that it was like they was playing
right,
pickup
exactly,
basketball.
exactly.
And Anthony Davis had outstanding. He led that team. But I'm gonna tell you this: Anthony Davis is a shell of himself. The Pelicans did not beat him down. He just was a fragile body. He hurt us. He stopped many of our chances of moving on or actually playing well. Jamarcus Cousins we was gonna end up keeping him before we kept Anthony Davis. That team right there, if Jamarcus Cousins did not get injured, son, we would have went far.
Man,
We'd have gave
I
Golden
still
State.
think back to DeMarcus Cousins. He reaches for that ball, man, and he grabs his leg, and I'm like, man, what
Oh
could
my
have been?
goodness.
What could have been with
What could
Anthony
have been?
Davis and
What could have?
DeMarcus
But you
Cousins?
see, But let me tell you, some things happen for a reason. Some because if they would have had success then, we wouldn't have Zion. We wouldn't
Exactly.
have Brandon Ingram. So it was
Exactly.
just meant. It was meant to be for us to be in the situation that we ended up in.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all as a Pelican fan. Like I said, I've been a Saints fan since 19. Let me see. It was 1982. I became a Saints fan, and I'm gonna tell you like this. I went through the days of seeing. I never wore a bag, but I seen some lousy Saints fans wear bags. I went through them days where you couldn't see the game on TV, or we had blackouts and shit. I went through that shit. So if I could go through the headaches of the Saints, I could go through the headaches of the past Hornets,
Right.
and now Pelicans.
Right.
Because to be a fan, to enjoy your future, you got to be able to suffer.
Yes.
You got to go through the suffering.
I mean,
Great fan
everything's not
has to
peaches
go
and
through
cream. I mean, every team
real.
goes through it. You know, every team has to go through a rough patch. I mean, every team has to grind. You know, you have to build from scratch. You know, and I love how the Pelicans built from scratch and how we and this roster is not built around Zion Williamson, Pelicans fans. This is Brandon Ingram's basketball team. I just want to be clear on
It
that.
is. It
That
is.
that
It is.
Brandon Ingram is the number one guy in New Orleans right now. You know.
Well, I think they got it. I think they can share it. I think they can share it. Him and Zion. It's similar to with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. You can share that shit. Even though it was more Dwayne because he had to go to Miami to win that championship. He had to go with him. But
Right.
I just think that we got enough. We got a big three. We got a big three. So I don't think it's
Most
one
definitely.
superstar. I don't think it's one
I
superstar
actually
with the
think we
team.
got a big four with Big Val. You know, Big
Yeah,
Val
yeah, yeah.
Jr.'s in there.
Well, Big Four, Big Val ain't gonna never be included in your Big Four. He's just gonna be that guy, that big guy. I think you can put Herb Jones in. I think eventually Herb is gonna step up and be that Big Four that we're talking about because for Herb give us more than any of them because I mean just think about it. Look, you can't coach defense.
Yeah.
That's
Can't coach
that
that.
talent. You got that. That's just absolutely
You gotta
talent.
have that in you, man. That's just straight hustle, man. That's just something that you have, you know. And Herb has that, man. He's been having it since going to Alabama, man, and locking it down in Alabama. I was very surprised that he fell to us, and man, what a pickup! What a pickup by the Pelicans, man. This man has been locking it down in the NBA all his rookie season, and I expect more out of him just because of the certain fact that Fred Vincent has improved his shooting as well
Well, you
offensively.
feel that way about Herb Jones. I feel that way about Dyson Daniels. How the hell we end up with him? You got to realize. Let me tell you something, bro. That dude there he goes overseas. Dyson goes over these seas and play with grown men. This is one of the reasons why I believe that Dyson Daniels is going to play early this year because
Mhm,
he gained that experience, son. He
mhm,
went out there and played with grown men.
mhm.
And them kind of guys like the Greek Freak, like the guy in Dallas, they was playing overseas. That's translate. They play with grown men. They're well ahead of our people here in the United States.
Most
They
definitely.
were because our young AAU is they playing with their age. They with their age
I mean,
category.
if you really think about it, look at the NBA today. Most of your stars today are coming from the
From
European
Europe,
leagues.
Europe,
You know,
the
you
Euro leagues.
look at Jokic, man. You got a lot of these stars, Nurkic, all these guys down here. That's out, and we just brought up our own, Valanciunas. A lot of these guys, Luka Doncic. A lot of these guys are coming from Europe. A lot of these foreigners, Rudy Gobert. These guys are coming from other countries.
It
So I
sure
mean,
is.
a lot of your best talent is coming from different countries, man, and it's good to have it on your own roster. Like I said, I just mentioned Big Val, but like you said, that Dyson Daniels, that man coming out of Australia, he's been doing it against grown
Yeah,
men.
and I was listening to our head coach, and just listening to our head coach and the way he talked about the young man, and talking about that you can't coach You can't coach experience. The young man has experience. The young man is he's older than what his age is.
Yes.
And I think that's what people don't realize. He, he's played with older people. When you play with somebody that's older than you, you're gonna gain that experience. And he can, he has to learn a little bit more with Fred Vincent because of his scoring. He reminds me of Ben Simmons. They don't have no, they're really not good scorers as far as shooters, but
I'm
they
glad you
great
brought up Ben
passers.
Simmons because playing him, tonight, Ben Simmons had a lot of ridicule going on with him.
I think
And
he's gonna shock people. I
I,
think he's gonna shock people.
I was just about to get to that. I think the kid is still really good. I think people just don't like him because he can't shoot threes, and people just love the 3-point shot. But
Oh,
that's just
I
not
mean,
his
he's gonna
game.
give us hell. He's
That
gonna give us hell.
Hey man,
He's
that
gonna
that
give us hell tonight.
that kid is a great defensive player, and he can cut to the basket. That man is great at slashing. And I really think he complements Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving over there, man. People are gonna find out once again because he was an All-Star before. People gonna want to find out once again why Ben Simmons was good. He doesn't need to be a 3-point shooter to be good in the league, man. I mean, you guys got to stop it. Y'all fell in love with Curry so much that y'all feel like everybody in the league has to shoot threes, and
No,
not
they're looking at
everyone can do that.
they're looking at that light skin. Nah, ain't nobody. Everybody ain't Curry. Everybody not Curry. Curry is a special young man. Everybody ain't grew up and had a father that taught him because his father was just as good as him back in the old days.
Right,
His
right,
father, so you had your father. His father was just didn't have that speed. His father was bigger than him.
right.
So Curry got his mama size and shit like that. But Curry, I just think that fans are gonna be fans. They up on you when you're doing well, and they turn on you when things slip on you. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes,
The
most
bottom,
definitely.
fans love you when when things are on top, but then they turn on your ass. That's why I always tried to build you with a mentally in your mind. I always told you, I said, EJ, everybody not gonna love you like daddy and mama love you. And I told you and Cameron that. I told you and Christoph and Xavier that. Everybody ain't gonna love you the way your mom and your daddy love you
Hmm.
because they ain't gonna they're waiting for your downfall. They waiting for your downfall. So
Crazy
you got
world
to.
out there, man. It's a
It's
crazy
a
world.
crazy world out there. What is your prediction tonight? We're
Well,
like a couple of minutes away from the game.
they'd already been started and everything, but I think I think the Pelicans gonna win this game. I think the Pelicans going. I'm
You
going.
think this one? You think this is a game we can steal?
We can steal this game. This is definitely like a 110, to 125 type game. I think the Pelicans, it's gonna be a very high scoring game. I think both teams got very good offenses. Defensively is where this game is gonna be won. Who's gonna go ahead and make the key stops in this basketball game? And
I think because it's a very very first game we're gonna take this L. I think I got the Brooklyn Nets beating the Pelicans 125 to 120. It's gonna go down in the last minutes. I could be wrong. Hey,
hmm,
I'm rooting for my Pelicans, but I just think you're gonna see a big game out of KD. And if we can't stop KD, it's going to be all night for us. Okay, but
yeah.
I'm
They got a
hoping.
lot to prove over there. They got a lot to prove this season, with a lot of scrutiny they had
But
last season.
but 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 if they can't stop Zion, we're gonna run away with this game. If
Yeah.
they can't stop Zion Williamson, we're gonna run away with this game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it's up and up with me. I don't know. I'll be I don't know.
I
So
just
I
think
can
it's a
tell.
good game overall, though. As a basketball fan, you just like seeing all the talent on the floor, man. You got Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum. That's a lot of talent on the floor.
Okay, y'all, we're gonna be coming on very often about and coming on and commentating about the and discussions about the New Orleans Pelicans as well as the New Orleans Saints. Tomorrow,
Right.
me and
Tomorrow,
EJ will
Thursday
be
night football.
yes, we will be back at it at 5:45 p.m. Central Time. We will be back with the pregame tomorrow, so you guys be ready. You know, we'll just remember we are covering every game that has to do with the Saints and the Pelicans. Okay, it's gonna be hard, but we're gonna cover them.
Hey man,
So
this is the baddest, man. This is what you live for, man. Not only you got football season still going on, but you got basketball season started, man. This is fun times, man. So
it's
hey,
for a time. Shit, who knows? We might even cover the USL team, you know, that we got
oh, the New Orleans Breakers.
we might be rooting for the Breakers this year too. We just all we everything New Orleans over here. You know what I'm saying? So we, you know, anything you want to say to close out this game?
Hey man, go Pels, man, and y'all enjoy the game, man. And like I said, this is just the start of the basketball season, but we'll continue our coverage on the New Orleans Pelicans as well as our New Orleans Saints, who will be starting Thursday night football against the Arizona Cardinals. So we'll catch y'all again tomorrow. Love y'all.
Yeah, I love y'all, and we will be talking about this game tomorrow before we talk about the Saints. So that's going to be the forever first discussion about this game. Okay, so y'all, we're going to recap this game before we start talking about the
Yeah.
pregame. Okay,
What we're
so
gonna do is we're gonna start out until the Saints season is over. We're just gonna do pregame shows for the Pelicans.
yeah, we're not
But,
going to do
but
back to back.
once the Saints season is over, we'll start doing postgame shows for the Pelicans.
All right, man. Love you, son. We will be, and you're gonna be at the Mavs game next week, so you will be doing some live coverage for us
Most
next week.
definitely, most definitely.
All right, we out of here. Remember to follow my son on Twitter. He's out there. Give him your Twitter name to follow you on Twitter, son.
Follow me on at wagginej on Twitter, and also you can follow the baddest sports show, Sports Talk on Twitter as well, guys. You know, and keep up with us on and not only on our YouTube page, you know, on Twitter and Facebook. We got a group
And
page
Facebook.
on
Yes.
Facebook as well. So. All right, hey, keep up with us, man. Keep tuning in, man. And we bringing y'all the top
And
coverage.
share these videos, man. Share these videos.
Share
Help us
these
get up.
videos, like and
Yeah,
subscribe, man.
subscribe.
That
Help us get
means
these subscribes up. You know what I'm saying?
heck
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You know, let's just get some. We know we got some people that's hating on us because we doing our thing, but we love the ones who do support us. You know what I'm saying? So Flock Nation, Flock Nation, Flock Nation. Let's win. Let's win,
Hoop
Flock
that,
Nation.
baby. Hoop that.
Hoop that, baby.